Hey guys, I have a collective haul for you today. It's just a few items which I have picked up over the past couple of weeks. Some of it has been second hand from antique shops. Got a few items from the 99p store, garden centres and also online. So I'll begin with the 99p store. I went in with the search to find some picture frames for my walls. They didn't have any in the 99p store, but they did have a new range of candles in jars. So I got first off these two red. They're meant to be rose scented, but to me they smell more like cinnamon. They are just full red wax all the way through, candles in glass jars, and I have had these burning for about an hour, and as you can tell they haven't really gone down much, so I think these are going to be quite long lasting candles. Obviously they were 99p each, which I think is such good sort of value for money, just for the fact that these seem to be quite long lasting candles, and also the fact that you do get this sort of glass jar at the end which you can make something out of. The only really negative I have with these candles, other than the fact that they don't really smell like rose, is that they do seem to get slight condensation within the jar, which does give an inconsistency in the kind of colour and the way that the candle looks. However, on mine it only seems to be on one side. Now I don't know if this is because I bought them on Wednesday, which was actually one of the hottest days in the UK that we've had for a long time, so I'm wondering if possibly it's to do with the fact that they were in a hot car and they may have slightly melted. They do seem to only be on one side of the candle, so I can just put it to the back of wherever I'm displaying these, but it's not really a massive issue, but something to consider if you are thinking of buying these. So the only other thing which I think is probably worth mentioning is that these did come with really large paper stickers on them that kind of said that they were rose scented. I thought the stickers looked particularly kind of cheap, just because they are designed for the 99p store. They're nothing really fancy. So I just used a wet cloth and a little bit of soap and just sort of scratched at these stickers, just because I think it looks a lot nicer with just the plain glass. So I also removed the sticker from this candle. I can't actually remember what scent this is. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a kind of berry fusion. So again, this is just a candle in a glass jar. It does have 3 different wicks. I've only been burning this one for about 20 minutes so far. Again, I haven't really had these candles for that long. I only got them this week. Although I can't really talk about the accuracy of the smell because I cannot remember what they're meant to be, it is a very pleasant smell. It is quite fruity. I have got the same issue again with the slight condensation on one side of the candle. This will disappear once the candle has started to burn down a bit and get a bit smaller, but again it could have been just due to the fact that I did buy these when it was particularly hot in England. The next items which I am going to talk about are things I've got from garden centres. Now you will see 2 main themes within this. One is Halloween and the second is houseplants, namely cacti. I do tend to go through kind of phases of collecting certain things, and recently it has been cactuses, so I have been going to quite a few garden centres and kind of looking at their cactus range. I'm just buying another one for my windowsill each time. So anyone who knows me well at all will know that I absolutely love Halloween. It is 116 days until the next Halloween. However, I have started to notice some Halloween decorations within some of the garden centres. Now this one has been in the garden centre for quite a long time. It was actually left over from last year. However, it did have it was like a seasonal offer, so I did kind of get it for about, I think it was about 50% off. It is just a ceramic pumpkin. It's hollow inside, so you could I guess put plants in it, or some kind of plant that would grow out the holes. but I was thinking more of putting a candle underneath. It is quite heavy, hence why I'm having to move it around a lot. But again, it's just ceramic. I think this ended up being, I think it was around £9, so obviously these would be a lot more expensive around Halloween time, but I do kind of look out for Halloween decorations all year round, just because one, I like to have them up in my room all year round, but also you can get some kind of like cheap reduced stuff which is no longer sort of seasonally relevant, so it's a good way to kind of stock up for next year's Halloween party. So the second kind of Halloween themed item which I bought was also cacti themed, and it was just this really small little cactus. I found this at the back of a half price bench in a garden centre which I visited. It kind of looked like it had been sort of a little gimmick thing that they'd been selling at Halloween, and they just had a few of these left over, and it had been put on the bench and slowly been pushed back. So the actual, I guess, the kind of plant pot which it's in is this tiny little pumpkin, and it doesn't have any holes or anything, so the water can't drain out. But then again, the plant in it, as you can probably tell, is slightly dry. Again, it is kind of meant to be a sort of cacti plant, so it doesn't need much water. It does have this succulent plant which again is not in the best condition. So on my windowsill I have a whole variety of cactuses. I'm just going to go through a few of them which I have bought recently. So this is a very standard cactus. You can get this in most garden centres. It is just sort of a simple sort of succulent base, and then this sort of flowery reddish pink tone spiky flower at the top. Now I could pretend to know how to pronounce this. It's a Hagenugarus. Yeah. If you wish to look this up, then here is the spelling. So I got this cactus because it kind of reminded me of a starfish, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna try and tip it without getting any of the soil out. But it is just 5 points. They are spiky, so I'm not going to touch them. And when I bought them, they were all the same length, but as you can see, this added tip to them that has all grown within the last week, so obviously they do like my windowsill. So the next cactus I got is very Susan-esque. It is a little sort of spiky succulent. It is, well, it's not spiky, but it does have spiky kind of arms. It's very fleshy. It's in a kind of, again, a sandy sort of soil. It doesn't need much water, and it is in this little owl pot which already came in. I am considering repotting it soon because it is starting to get slightly too big. The final cactus which I'm going to show you, because it would probably take me way too long to go through the whole of my windowsill, is this strange looking one. Although it doesn't look like the stereotypical cactus, it is from the kind of cactus family. It needs to be kept in a warm, sunny environment. It doesn't need much water. I got this one just because I did really like the colour of it. It's almost sort of a dark aubergine purple colour. I just thought it looked kind of strange having like this weird sort of dead looking flower and these leaves under the lip. So although these are not the kind of stereotypical flower that you get from a garden centre, they are quite common and you can find them in quite a few sort of stores around. So now I'm going to talk about the sort of second-hand items which I got. I have been collecting glass bottles over this last couple of weeks. Some of them are from my sister, and the majority of them are from an antique shop which is local to where I live. So I am planning to undertake a project over the next kind of month. I want to create a sort of potions and powders cabinet which is inspired by Harry Potter. I have purchased some stickers off of Etsy. So the stickers sort of come like instant darkness powder, and then I'm going to choose a bottle which I think suits it and then make sort of the powder. This one is an old salt shaker, and it does have some salt crystals which I made, but I will go further into this when I show sort of the finished result, but I will kind of end up with some sort of black instant darkness powder in here. So I am planning to do an unboxing with the stickers which I'm getting from the Etsy site. I have bought other items from there, so I just thought it'd be quite interesting just to show you the different range which the shop seller has in their shop. So I'm not going to show you all the bottles I've got, I will just quickly show you sort of the different varieties. So I've got a few which are textured like this. They are all old bottles. They all cost me, well, they were £3 each, but because I bought so many, the woman in the antique shop has given me some money off recently, just because I am becoming such a regular customer there. So some of the bottles are sort of disfigured. They're slightly bent and sort of warped. Again, this is one which my sister gave me, and it is just a really interesting shape, the way that the glass has changed and altered over time. So then I do have some which do look slightly more like possible like medicine bottles. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not at all kind of knowledgeable about the history of glass bottles. I probably could really easily look these up and find out what type of bottles these are, but for my project I thought that these were kind of like the perfect sort of shapes for sort of Harry Potter themed sort of potion bottles. They do also sort of range in age, as you can tell. Some of them are a more blue colour and they're slightly more old and worn. Some of them are slightly chipped and misshapen, whereas the other ones, although they are still kind of antiques, or they are still old and second hand, they are slightly clearer and probably slightly more younger, I guess is the term that you would say. So on the subject of Etsy, which is where I got those bottles from, I did get a new phone case. In my previous what's in my bag video, I did mention that my phone case was broken and I had ordered a new one. And this is the phone case which I got. It is for a 5S, an iPhone 5S, and it is a hard case. It has the Victorian bat lady on it, so it's just a lady in a sort of Victorian style dress, and she has a bat, like a bat hat and a bat shoes, bat brooch. As you can tell, she's got bat wings on. It is just a very, I think it's a unique case. However, recently I have seen this picture a lot more. So I just got interrupted by this massive package being delivered, so I am going to sort this out and then I will continue. So after that package delivered, everything got a bit busy and I had to go out and do a few things. So I'm changed obviously and I'm now in a different location, but I'll just quickly finish off my collective haul with a couple of Killstar items which I've bought recently. The first one is again a candle, much like the one from the 99p store. However, this one is a black candle in a glass jar again. This one has a Ouija sticker on it to make it resemble a Ouija board. It's got the yes, the no, and then it says Killstar at the top. I have not tried this candle yet. As you can see, it is still completely level with the top, so you do get a full jar of candle. It is pretty much scentless. I mean, there's a slight a slight hint of something, but it's nothing really that recognisable. Recognisable? You can't really recognise what the smell is. It's almost just like a waxy smell, which would kind of make sense because it's a candle. So as I noticed with the condensation of the 99p store one, this one doesn't have any condensation, but I have noticed that where they have poured the wax in, it hasn't fully moulded to the actual glass. There are a few little air bubbles dotted around, which they're not really a big deal. You can't really, as you can kind of see from this, you can't really see them much. It's only when you look really closely that you can notice sort of the inconsistency. But again, this will probably change as soon as the candle starts being burnt and wax goes down the inside and things. So as you can see, there are a few sort of air bubbles within the wax, but this does create quite a cool sort of textured effect. It slightly reminds you of the moon in a strange way. But again, this isn't really a major issue. So the last thing I'm going to show you from Killstar is a bit of jewellery. They do necklaces and earrings. I don't think they do bracelets, but I've always kind of wanted something from their sort of jewellery line, but I haven't bought any just for the fact that it is quite expensive. So over the past couple of days, Killstar has been sending out promotional emails about a 20% off sale for the 4th of July. The 4th of July is celebrated more in America than the UK, but of course the sale is worldwide. This sale offered 20% off for the whole website, so every item, even if it's in the sale, was 20% off, and it brought down all the jewellery prices by a lot. So I actually bought this crystal necklace. So this necklace is on a long chain, and it is a giant piece of clear quartz with an octopus tentacle wrapped around it. As I have mentioned in my jewellery sort of collective videos, I do only tend to wear silver, so I was really happy that this came in silver. And it also has this sort of almost antiqued look to the silver, as it's slightly darker, which kind of gives it a more sort of three-dimensional look. But as you look closer, you can see sort of how the silver sort of shows through in different places of the tentacle. So I do really love this piece of quartz that I was given. It is meant to be clear quartz, but I don't know how well you can see, but there is a slight sort of mist within it. It almost looks slightly magical to me. So recently I have been collecting crystal necklaces and just crystals in general. I am really interested in the effects that happen when you have a crystal and what the different crystals mean and symbolise. They are very expensive though, and I know that some people don't really want to invest that much on a piece of jewellery, so I would suggest signing up for the the promotional deals and sort of the newsletter things they send out, because you will be updated when there is maybe a 24-hour sale. I got this one in I think it was a 48-hour sale, so they are quite small sale periods, but as long as you sort of get it emailed to an email address you check regularly, you'll know when there is a sale on. So I was lucky with the sale, as the necklace is something I was going to invest in anyway, but it just meant I got the same money off as the candle cost. So I effectively, if you want to put it into that term, got the candle free. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry for the unplanned interruptions and the fact that I had to kind of move around a bit, but we got there in the end. So if you do have any video requests or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I am planning to do a couple of Etsy unboxing with different companies which I have really liked, and I think that other people could benefit from knowing their existence. And as I said, a sort of crystal themed one where I'm going to go slightly more into the meanings behind crystals. And I do also have a room wall tour planned, but I am still constructing my wall and making it sort of look perfect, so I don't really want to show it to you while it's half finished, but it is almost there. So thanks again. See see you next time. Bye.